Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to my 2018-2019 year in review with Happy. Right, Happy?
走れソリよ風のように月見原をパドルパドル
Well, it's that time again. The end of 2019 and on going to 2020. As I promised, I'll make a 2019 year in review. Honestly, I wanted to make a 2018 year in review last year, but I was just way too busy and I wasn't in Japan for vacation. So I didn't have the time to make it, and it's really time consuming, editing the clips and all that stuff and other stuff. Also, even with this year's review, I wasn't able to put as much time as I would like because, work and all these other stuff. Regardless, I promised I'd make a 2019 year in review, and here it is. But first, I want to say something. Last year was actually a very important year for me because last year was actually my 10th anniversary for the year in review. So actually this year is actually 10 plus 1, my 11th year. Kinda sucks. I really wanted to make a huge, awesome review, but I just didn't have the chance or time. It's just too much. Believe me, it was gonna be huge. Maybe when I make it to the 15th year or 20th year, I'll bring that idea back and hopefully blow your minds out with the editing skills I got, if any. So let's go on with the 2019 year-end review. Unedited, uncut, somewhat. And here are all the games I played from 2018 to 2019. My 2019 best plot, I gave it to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. When that expansion was named,
He's about to undock himself.
and then you know you're going to the world of light and become the warrior of darkness. It was just weird. It's like you're becoming evil. But good and bad kind of doesn't exactly always look at it as. Playing through that game was just crazy. It had some tragedy, has sadness, has some cool factors and everything. Even the final boss, you can't really hate the final boss because that final boss has a great motive. Makes you wonder and question if what you're doing is the right thing or not.
Oh, fucking.
Overall, the whole expansion of playing Shadowbringers it kept me on my toes. I never lost interest. I just kept on going and going and going. It was worth
DPS that bad that we actually.
price in the
Last
playing
one.
expansion and the subscription to go back to 14 to play it.
Hey, where's my? Oh, there.
It's
Oh
just
my god, not my
I don't know. It's
favorite
just my favorite plot of all the games I played.
Oh, no, that's the thing.
I mean, the other 3 games were great too. Death Stranding, Octopath Traveler, and God of War. They all equally have their own
Can't believe how I'm
great
thinking
plot
the
and
fairy
storyline,
dies.
but
Oh,
Shadowbringers, it just beats
It's
them all.
anticipation. Sacrifice the fairy.
My 2019 best battle system, that's a tough one to choose. The 4 I really have in mind are all equally great. There's Star Wars Jedi, which was really fun playing as a Jedi and fighting like a Jedi. Spider-Man, well, you're like Spider-Man, swinging around, doing spider stuff, like what Spider-Man can. It's just a reality, since I never played a Spider-Man game before. End of Eternity, where you're all flashy combos and gun shooting and having tactics which you need to win against bosses, or you can pretty much easily get killed. But for Sekiro, that's my 2019 best battle system. That game is just amazing, which is like any Dark Soul type games where you need a lot of good skills. Whether it's stealth killing or you're actually going head on against them. The parry system is just great. It's just fun. Learning how to parry against enemies and what you can and what you cannot. Using your tools against the enemies to win against them is just fun. It's just what makes it fun. Learning, dying and learning to win. Hence, my best battle system for 2019 is Sekiro. Shadows died twice. My 2019 best protagonist is Sam Bridges from Death Stranding. Yes, it's kind of weird because he's just a delivery guy, you know, UPS, FedEx, that travels across, you know, the US, delivering stuff. Nothing biggie, aside from, you know, fighting PTs and learning about his truth and all that. But it's the way he communicates with the how would you say, people in the world, how he reacts to them from the beginning and to the end. That's what made it interesting. Also, Norman Reedus is just badass. I mean, ever since like The Walking Dead, as he's Daryl, and also in PT, man, you can't go wrong with that. This is why I had to choose him. He's my favorite protagonist of 2019. Sam Bridges of Death Stranding, played by Norman Reedus. For 2019 best antagonist, has to be a villain or someone that strikes fear into your heart as a gamer. Now, unfortunately, fortunately, I guess, there are some villains that are really cool and badass, but none that really strikes fear or feels like a true antagonist. Because they might have a motive that seems justified in a way or not. Thankfully, I did experience one antagonist that strike fear in me. One that when I saw him, well, not before I saw him, but I first heard him come. Then I saw him, I went, oh shit, I am not gonna fight, I'm getting my ass out of there. Who's that villain? Or the best 2019 antagonist? Darth Vader from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. He is, even though you are a Jedi, that is one mofo you dare not fight against. You hear him, you run. Just like an agent in the Matrix. Same thing. You don't want to get your ass kicked, pretty much. So my 2019 most feared, powerful, strikes fear into your heart antagonist, Darth Vader from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. There's a lot of great games this year and last year. Lots of great gameplay. But generally when I look for a gameplay, I wanted something that makes me feel like I'm part of the game. And have, you know, that feel, that presence and such. So, my 2019 best gameplay, I choose Spider-Man. That game was beyond what I was expecting. Granted, I never played a Spider-Man game before, but I always wonder what it's like to be Spider-Man, swinging around, webbing enemies, using your cool gadgets. Well, Spider-Man on the PS4 was just that. It was smooth. It felt like you are Spider-Man swinging across buildings. The controls is just intuitive. It's very natural. I'm just amazed. When I played it, I was like, holy crap. I am Spider-Man. I feel like Spider-Man. I play like Spider-Man. That, along with mini games, playing as extra characters, other characters rather. It was fun. I enjoyed the whole game. It feels like, you know, I'm Spider-Man, which is the point of the game, because that's what the game is called, Spider-Man. This is why I give Spider-Man my favorite gameplay of 2019. It's just the feel, the passion, the intuition of being Spider-Man that makes it really fun. Oh, the best moment of 2018-2019. This category is just a fun category because it's always about memes or something interesting, something that goes and used a lot in my channels or my Discord. Hotodago? Yes. And of course, this is Christmas, so Pararu. Of course. And of course, our lovable 2019 meme, Honk. Because the goose. But there is one that pretty much beats them all. Because it's my experience and my best moments. Yes, I said moments. That is LL in Japan. 2018. At the last, I believe the second or third week of November, went to Japan. Made up with Jin, Serenade, RO. We had fun. Go around, checking out cool places, went to Nara, Osaka, Akita. Oh, it was amazing and fun experience. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I met Serenade and Yuki, RO, and finally I met Jin, even though I knew him for quite a long, many years. Yeah, that was just a fun experience. Seen a lot of amazing places, beautiful places, ate a lot of great foods, and also saw some, lots of cool stuff, especially Nara. Nah, that is an amazing place. Nara Park and the Deers. Oh, that was just something I always wanted to go to, and boom, I finally did. Would I love to go back there? Hell yes, I would definitely love to, and maybe I will, with more friends. That'll be pretty cool, you know? But yeah, LL in Japan, my favorite moment for 2018 to 2019. Because the experience and learning and meeting friends was worth it. Plus the food. And seeing the deers. And arcades. And Akibahaka. I can't say the name. God damn it. Can't say it. But yeah, you know. Which is amazing. And hopefully I'll go back there one day again. With more friends. So there you go. LL in Japan. Best moment of 2018-2019. There's only one game in 2018 and 2019 that deserves the most surprising. This game was on the Tokyo Game Show. The trailer, not much shown, makes you go, what the hell is going on? And even when they finally show gameplay, it makes you still go, what the hell is going on? You just don't know what is going on. What game is that? I'm sure from those clues I gave you, or lack of, is Death Stranding. This game is just very different. To the fact that people thought it's a walking simulator. Well, it is a walking simulator, or rather you're a FedEx, UPS, USPS, Amazon delivery simulator. But the concept and the ideas of what Kojima did with this game, and the title itself, Death Stranding, it has a huge purpose. And when you realize that purpose, you notice how much that game connects to every player that plays the game. It's just amazing, and it's very surprising. What you do can help other players. What other player does can help you. You can leave clues, stuff you built, stuff you make, or leave behind. Other players can use it. And that makes a huge difference for that person.
Well, actually, there is no road in Eastern area.
Or yourself. When you take advantage of using other players' construction. It's just very surprising of how he can make a simple game like that into a worldwide cooperation.
Oh.
It's what made Death Stranding very surprising. A very surprising game that I never saw or expected to be like that. Which is why it is by 2018-2019 most surprising game of the year. Most disappointing game of 2019. That's really hard to choose. Well, actually not, it isn't. It's not really hard to choose at all. It's very simple actually. Most disappointing game of 2019? Mobile game called Epic 7. Yes, it's a mobile game and makes you wonder why. Honestly, when the first time the game was released in global, it was fun. There's a lot of great stuff about the game. Arenas, storyline, the characters, the animation. Oh damn, the animation is so beautiful. The attacks, the characters, and everything. The storyline, man, music, whoa. So how did it end up to be the most disappointing? Well, it's the end game, and the fact the developers doesn't doing anything or not doing lack of to solve the dilemma. End game is pretty much at this point is where I am. All I do is do guild wars and farm for gears to be, you know, farm these hunts to get materials, and with these materials you try to build a better gear, which is RNG. So you have an RNG of getting a main stats. First is the set, then is the stats, and then is the numbers of the stats. Now that is just a pain because you don't get a good number. You wasted all that time to, you know, farm for nothing. That's the problem with this game. You could spend a week or two farming materials, hopefully you could get better shoes or better weapons or better necklace, and just pure crap. So meaning your 2 weeks of farming those materials or trying to get better equipment is completely wasted. Zero progression. Then they added oh god. Then they added the raid battles, guild war raid battles, which is completely laughable. It's an automatic animated action that surprisingly once you start to fight, everything's already determined. So you can just hit skip and you know, or when you click the start button, you could automatically see how much money you get because it's already factored out instantly. And then all that animation you see on the world boss fight is moot, really. I mean, it looks pretty the first time, maybe the second time, but after that, it's just the same repetitive stuff. So it's kind of boring and really, it's just like free money. And the reward is horrible as hell. You can probably get like 6,000 gold, which is nothing. When you need like millions and thousands, millions of gold just to do what you need. So, a game that was in a 4.5 ratings on the Google Play Store, it got so bad it's now 2.9. 2.9 at the time of what I'm talking to you guys right now on this video. It's just that bad. How can a game that has great animations, music, storylines dropped from a 4-star ranking down to 2.9? Well, and developer doesn't do anything about it, to the point that all I do now these days is I don't have the motivation to farm for weapons and gear because it's just, chances are RNG is gonna screw me and I just wasted time with progression, which is lack of. So I'll just do guild wars, which I'm slowly losing in the guild wars because people, you know, that are luckier or spend more time grinding the observe more time grinding for the equipments, actually, you know, outgear me. So I'm slowly losing to being outgear, and it's just not fun. There's nothing else to do in the game aside from that. And the the special events they have, it's the same thing. You just auto through it. That's it. Although it's cool to read the story and stuff, but there's no motivation to do anything because there's zero progression. That's the problem with the game for me. To the point that I might quit playing because of that. Even though I love the characters, the animation, and everything. It's just a waste of talent, honestly, because of bad developer ideas and ways to hopefully fix it, and their PR is horrible.
Are you ready?
So, most disappointing game of 2019, Epic 7 on mobile. The best bug of 2018-2019. Honestly, there are a lot of bugs, you know. The usual clipping because of poor programming and other stuff. But there is one bug I will crown it because it's just broken. It is the secret mana save corruption. There is a chance that you can actually corrupt your save completely, which is very, very evil. It's just a combination of autosave and how you get killed. All you do,
Okay, here we go.
is run and transition the screen when you get killed by spell or attack.
A lot.
When that happens, you get killed during the transition, and since you're dead, on the next screen it automatically saves because autosave saves every time when you transition a screen. So if everybody's dead and the screen transition, it's automatically game over. So if you try to load the game, instant game over. And there's really nothing you can do about it aside from hopefully you can load a previous save or something. That's one problem autosaves is because it can cause that, and that's something, you know, I bet the developers didn't realize that could happen. And yeah, autosave sounds great, but there are times and unfortunate timings, like in this case how I accidentally triggered that save corruption. It's a shame, but yeah, that's a funny bug. I don't know if they ever fixed it. It's just something you want to avoid if you ever play Secret Mana. That's my 2018-2019 best bug. My 2018-2019 most improved game. It's gonna sound a little unfair, but you know, this is my year-end review. I give it to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. With 2 new classes, the Gunbreaker, Tank Job, and a DPS job, Dancer. Also, the normalization of the roles. Tanks has an easier time to tank, and you know, normalize it between all the tank classes. Healer is more more healing. DPS is just the same old. And also the changes to the older jobs, or previous jobs rather, like the Machinist. Revamping it. It is fun. Now you add that with the plot and then extra stuff like the raid, new dungeons, music and everything. It is a huge improvement over the previous expansion. Yes, there are other games that have sequels, although this Shadowbringers isn't really a sequel but more of an expansion, like Kingdom Hearts 3, Dragon Quest 11. I just feel while those games does have some improvement and not much improvements, Final Fantasy XIV has the biggest impact of the most improved compared to previous versions, as I would like to say. Hence, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers is my most improved game for the 2018-2019. The best visual for 2018-2019, I'll give it to Death Stranding. Yeah, a lot of it's just hard to explain why. Well, not too hard, but still, it's just, you know, we got Square games like Kingdom Hearts 3, which have a lot of pretty visuals and all that. Final Fantasy 14, amazing outworlds and all that. Spider-Man was actually very beautiful visual too, but why Death Stranding? The way, the concept, the art direction and everything, it's like watching a movie. Especially the cutscenes. It is just beautiful. Exploring the USA while traveling as Sam. The Outworld's just pretty too. I mean, it's not going to be like Square Enix style pretty, like in a Final Fantasy game or anything, but still, it is detailed. When you're walking, when timefall rain erodes the construction, like the bridges and everything, the vehicles, is just there. The visual is on spot. Especially the cutscenes with the CGI live motion capture and everything. Honestly, Death Stranding could have been a movie. Kojima could have just made a movie out of that, and it would have been like a Final Fantasy Spirit Within, except a lot better. A lot better. This is why Death Stranding is my chosen winner for Best Visual of 2018-2019. For the Best Original Soundtrack, it was going to be for Death Stranding. Sure, majority of the game is very silent, and then when it comes to the traveling part where it's safe, having the music is just beautiful, natural. It's like watching a movie. But unfortunately, it's not my winner. The winner is Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Before I say any more, please note that I don't know the names of the actual tracks. It's just, the music is just beautiful. From the main theme of Shadowbringers to the boss theme, the Lahi theme in the forest, the fairy forest, is just beautiful as hell. That alone, it's great. And I would have put Death Stranding over that until the Nier raid came out on 14. Having the Nier music in it, especially the final boss of the first Nier raid, it was just beautiful. Yeah, it's from Nier, but they added the crystal theme into the Nier final boss music, and it fits so well. It's beautiful. That alone, along with everything in Shadowbringers, the music and everything, it's just probably one of the soundtracks I still listen while driving in my car. Hence, the best original soundtrack for 2018-2019, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. This year's 2018-2019 L4 of the year, oh boy, it's really tough. It's just hard to find the number one lady of this year and last year. So, I'm just gonna do an easy way. Here are all the ladies that was nominated for L4 of the year. Tina, Mr. Stenor, Prim, Umu, Tani, G41, Remy, Ophelia, Primrose, Tessa, Serena, Mary Jane, Cassandra, Greenbell, Seedong, Marie, Erish, Abby, Zelda, Purin. That's all for 2018. 2019, Kairi, Aqua, Taiho, Unicorn, Laffy, Catherine, Mimi, Lulua, Miruru, Minfilia, Yashtola, Estelle, Patty, Io, Lila, Fragile, Mirren, and Asuna of 2019. There you go. My 2018-2019 L4 of the year. all these ladies. Hopefully next year we'll have one that exemplifies above everybody else. Will we see it? Will that happen? Tune in next time for 2020 LL's L4 of the year. Game of the Year 2018-2019. I'm sure most of you would expect or think Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers would be the Game of the Year because winning the plots, the OST, and the improvements. But that's not the case. The Game of the Year is a game that just has that difference, makes that difference, and has that difference. That game is Death Stranding. When I first heard about this game, of course it's by Kojima, and I'm sure we all seen that the trailer at Tokyo Game Show. It makes you go, what the hell is going on?
Gloves.
Babies, crabs, dead fishes everywhere, beach. Then later on, he showed more trailers that is just weird as hell.
So badass.
It looks more like a movie if anything, a weird sci-fi movie. And then finally,
We're all set now.
that 1 to 2 hour, I believe it's 1 hour actually,
Same tells
gameplay. Oh my gosh, you're just walking around. It's a walking simulator. It's a UPS, Amazon, FedEx
MasterLL network.
simulator. But then you learn that what you do
We need
can affect other
Where
players'
the fuck I am.
gameplay. As you notice, first, when you go from point A to point B for your goal and delivery, you're by yourself,
Oh, we're gonna go
alone.
First
Gotta go
floor or-
through and venture against the dangers of the mules who try to steal your cargo, and the BTs who pretty much try to kill you.
Oh, shit.
But once you make it to
I think
your
it's the
goal
first
and
floor.
connect that area to the network, you'll see every other player. You'll see what they've done. Did they build bridges,
I'm sure it's
road,
reinforced.
maybe vehicles, or a structure that can help you?
We can take the
From
wooden
then
floor.
on, going between those 2 points is a hell lot easier. Just because of that. So the game structure is pretty much like that. Going from one point to a new point, you have to be wary. Gotta take risk. You gotta plan out how do you get there. It can be hard, it can be easy, depending on your planning and your path of getting there. But once you connect that place to the network, you learn how cooperation between fellow players can make traveling so much easier. Whether it's a zip line, where you can go from A to B really easily, or everybody donating materials to create roads that can pretty much go through, bypass the mules and the BTs. So there is very little to no threat of your delivery.
First pepper, yep.
That is just amazing. The game itself, it's like reality. It's like you're trying to build a house yourself, or you can have
You might get a
yourself
first pepper
with
dirt,
friends, families to help build a house with you,
this one.
making it easier to build a house than just by yourself. This is Kojima's idea, his vision of this game, how being connected with other
Oh, these guys.
people in the world makes things a lot easier. Communication is the key. Cooperation is the key. It's just a game that it's not really been done before. Sure, MMOs have something similar to that where you gotta group up, team up to, you know, take out a boss, raid and all that stuff, but delivering, going from point A to point B, we first learn how tough it is to, do that. But once you're in the network cooperating with other players, suddenly there's bridges, suddenly there's roads. Someone might leave a vehicle for you. It makes everything so much easier when you're cooperating and they're cooperating. Well, the whole game of players cooperating with each other. That's the beauty of Death Stranding. And this is why it was also my surprising game of this year. And also my game of the year of 2018-2019. The sense of loneliness to cooperation, the beautiful environments, the movie-like cutscenes, the well-placed music, just like in the movies, and the acting. Norman Reedus. Oh, it's just great. I'm really looking forward to what Kojima will do for his next game, because Death Stranding is a game that I didn't think I would like or would play, because I'm like, man, if I play this game, I thought that people ahead of me that played this game like ahead of me will, ruin my gameplay, because, they'll probably build a road from point A to point B, making it easy for me to, get there. But little did I learn that first you must do this yourself. You gotta get from point A to point B. Then once you connect it, you'll understand the importance of cooperating, where everybody helps each other to make delivery much easier. Hence, Death Stranding. Game of the year. Thank you for watching my 2018-2019 year-end review. Hope you enjoyed it. And have a happy New Year's 2020. Thanks again for watching. Peace.